This is a red alert. Forget everything you've ever learned about Bitcoin. In today's video, we're going to explain to you Bitcoin's worst scenario. Doesn't matter what latest and greatest DeFi coin you're buying on Uniswap, if Bitcoin tanks, we are all headed for disaster, and some people are forecasting some iconic new lows for BTC. I'll give you a hint. Starts with a 7 and ends with a K. We're going to break it down today in order to determine what you should be doing next. Let's get it. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the hardest working channel in all of cryptocurrency. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and check the video description for ways to connect with me. All right, guys, today we're going to be looking at just how low Bitcoin can go. Some people are predicting crazy lows from here, and we are going to judge whether or not that is in the cards. We will be discussing the CME Gap and what you should be prepared to do in the short term. Then, at the end of this video, we're going to be taking a quick look at a project we've discussed on the channel that has some big news, so stay tuned for that. So let's start by looking at the markets here, and it is not good. As of this moment, the Bitcoin price is sitting right now at the cusp of dipping below $9,900. Markets are bleeding like crazy, and some people are freaking out. You guys have to understand, even when things are the most bullish, and I'm telling you, watch out for this 100x opportunity or make massive gains by investing in this or that niche, what do I always say? I always say, remember that crypto is volatile. That's why we like it. You can invest in something that goes to zero, or the markets could tank. The only thing guaranteed in crypto is that there's nothing guaranteed. We talk a lot about shaking the weak hands out. This means when the price drops, many holders sell in fear the price will drop much further. This consolidates crypto holdings among people who have strong hands and can hodl through anything. Some people call them strong but low IQ. Most of these people who jump out, though, take big losses and don't come back into the crypto markets for long periods of time. But these shakeouts are occurring right now. That is exactly what causes the prices to plunge. People panic sell to get out of the markets, and I believe the prices will continue to plunge until we fill this CME gap. Earlier last week, I called the CME gap a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I can't think of any period in Bitcoin that's demonstrated that better than where we are at right now. First, though, let's quickly brush up on what the CME gap is. CME stands for Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and this institutional investment company launched the first Bitcoin futures contracts back in December 2017. One thing people love about crypto is that it's 24/7. However, Bitcoin future contracts are not. These Bitcoin futures contracts are traded from 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sundays to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on Fridays, Central Standard Time because it's in Chicago. Trading is 24 hours per day, 5 days per week. This means if the price opens higher or lower on Sunday than the price was at on Friday's close, then a gap is created. You can see some of these gaps here on the chart. They're very noticeable. You can see these gaps because they stick out like a sore thumb to those of us in crypto every day. Because we're so used to staring at charts, they're not broken. Crypto's 24/7, so a gap looks extremely strange to us. And that, I believe, is one of the biggest reasons why these gaps get filled. As mentioned earlier last week, CME gaps are a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's little fundamentally that should push these gaps to get filled.
OMG, an institution didn't get their orders filled. Poor thing, bless her little heart.
This seems to be what some people believe, but you're looking at some of the biggest money in the world investing in these futures contracts. So for every institution that didn't get an order filled due to a gap, there were others that did get their orders filled where they wanted them to be. Long and short of it is, I do not believe there's some kind of institutional tug of war bringing these prices to fill these gaps, especially when they're far away. It's purely psychological. Once someone figured out there seemed to be a correlation between these gaps and price movement, this became a war of the mind, where people have stopped believing Bitcoin can ever take off unless all of these gaps on the underside are filled. If you're unaware, all technical analysis consists of is predictions of human behavior. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. What patterns in a chart seem to predispose humans towards buying or selling assets? It's been going on since the 1600s when people plotted lottery prices in England, but they also gave us Mr. Bean, so But anyways, let's be honest here. Most of you are not technical analysis believers. If you were, you probably wouldn't be watching a channel like mine, where we focus mostly on fundamental analysis, which is everything off of the charts. You may know fundamental concepts of TA, but if you were a TA only person, you would be watching Crypto Indio or Crypto Jeb or Crypto Kirby. But let me tell you, one chart formation that literally anyone in crypto can see. A pattern that can be recognized by even the most noobish investor. That's right, the CME gaps. Anyone can see it. You may not understand the why behind the gaps or how they act as magnets pulling the price up or down, but you can see the gaps. They are right there on the chart. No other indicator has a 90% plus success rate in determining the direction of price. Yet 95% of CME gaps get filled, period. So when we see these prices start to move in the direction of one of these gaps, then that pull of the magnet gets stronger. I had been on record to say I didn't believe the price of Bitcoin would drop to fill the latest gap in between 9,600 and 9,900 until after the bull market. However, I'm now admitting defeat on that prediction. We are going to fill this gap. The fact that I've gotten to a point over the weekend when I, the most bullish of all moon boys, has had to admit we are filling that gap probably in the next 48 to 72 hours shows you the psychological effect of these gaps and why their magnetic force is so strong. The main question is going to be what occurs afterwards. We basically have two thoughts here on which way Bitcoin is heading. First, some people believe, like myself, that we will eventually flash crash, glance off the 9,500 to 9,600 level, only to get a huge push back up and head back toward moon time. The second line of thought is that this is part of a bigger downtrend ahead. Scott Melker on Twitter echoed the sentiment of many people, saying that 7K could actually be in the cards. And not only in the cards, it would be healthy for the markets. I don't know what the F this guy's talking about, honestly. We just got retail investors back. I don't think a 45% loss that scares retail investors away by the truckload will be healthy for the market. These chart guys, I swear. In my opinion, this is a bump in the road. We don't have time in this video for me to go through the history of Bitcoin and show you why what we're going through right now is actually normal, but a much larger dump would not be normal. If you want to see that in a video, let me know by dropping a comment down below. Could be a fun one. As you guys know, CatX is sponsoring a node giveaway here on the channel. When we announced the giveaway, it was worth almost $30,000. Now it's worth $13K. Hey, those are the breaks, I guess. For our contest, I'll let the first place winner choose whether they want the 50,000 CatX tokens or the Bitcoin, but it should be pretty obvious. You take whichever one is worth more at the end of September. I've had people saying things to me like,
What happened to CatX? Have you seen the price?
Like, yeah, Jimmy, I seen it. How are your bags doing, douche? Here's a hint for you. Not good unless you're a tether maximalist. But projects like CatX have taken huge hits during this market downturn. And it has definitely opened up the eyes of the people who enjoy bathing in the blood of virgin investors. I bet that's really a thing, you kinky SOBs. But CatX is not taking this time period laying down, and they are fighting to get maximum value for their investors. They're going to be locking up 85 million out of the 100 million total supply this week. That's what you want to see as an investor. Your project going to bat for you, doing what they can in order to get maximum value for you. That's what you want. Keith from Cat Trade is also doing an AMA on CatX today. Probably will have already aired by the time this video comes out, so look for some interesting price action for CatX ahead. But now it's your turn. Where do you think Bitcoin is heading to? Will we fill the gap, or is filling gap something you've only seen on movies before? And I'm sure you've seen a lot of those. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe to become a member of the Bit Squad. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day. BitBoy out.